safe space for everybody. All right, without further ado, debating with the motion, this House prefers a world in which the dominant narrative is to prioritize future generations as opposed to prioritizing current generations. I now welcome the first prop. Here.
Speech will just start on my first word, and POIs, just unmute yourself and verbally say it, please. Okay. And before I start my speech, I'd obviously like to thank everyone for organizing this tournament, and it's been a pleasure to participate so far. So my speech will start now. All right. Judge, we cannot sit here and neglect stability, peace, all while destroying our Earth. It is ridiculous for us to sit here and neglect our future while damaging ourselves at the same time. 7 structural reasons then as to why we take this debate. But before that, I'm going to do setup, my first argument on practical, second argument on principle. I'm going to have an extension in my deputy for the birth lottery, and I'm going to flag my third real quick. He's going to talk a little bit about FIA. Immediately characterization then, how are we going to frame this debate? It obviously takes place in status quo world where people prioritize current generations. The effect of this debate goes into the future, but the burden gets lighter and lighter as there are less problems. This is a dominating narrative note panel. This shifts people's perspective for things like global warming to become a big problem for the future, and people care about that. We have here to assume that people will be incentivized because it is a dominating narrative, and I'm going to flag my whip, which is going to talk about this later. So what are future generations then, panel? These are the children, and these are our future. This looks like us in this debate room, because we are U14, we are going to be the future of this Earth. Second thing here is that our future and Earth is going to necessitate a stable economy, general peace and no squabbles, and also just generally stable ecosystems with a functioning Earth that is not on fire. We're going to aim to provide best standard of life, and we're going to promote future sustainability when we prioritize future generations. Now, for current generations, it looks like current adults, like 20 to 45 years old. It could be judges or Orcom in this competition. But what does prioritizing current generations actually look like? And it looks like 1, maximizing efficiency, and 2, completely promoting standard of living for this contemporary generation instead of focusing on longevity. They completely just care about burning as much fossil fuels as they can so that they can get cheap power. No, this is a dominating narrative. What is that? It's an overarching narrative that most people agree on, then thus take action to follow. Tangible actions here, it looks like sustainability, stability, using and preventing use of destructive things, and also for current generations it looks like using fossil fuels in massive amounts and not really caring about stability because, well, you're gonna die anyway before the Earth explodes. Who cares? Counterfactual here, the status quo world, well, it significantly neglects stability, sustainability, blah blah blah. There's some problems here, I'm going to talk about this later, and in status quo world, no people don't really give a damn about future. It's not going to affect them. Key stakeholders is the future and current generations, and we're just going to push a practical and better standard of life and a principle. So immediately into my argument on the practical then, characterization. It looks like the problems in status quo. In our current society today, we have a multitude of problems in our world. This looks like educational barriers, environmental concerns, poverty, race, and rising problems with climate change. This is the biggest problem. It's an active contemporary issue. It's going to affect future generations and contemporary generations. It looks like the second thing here is a problem dumping cycle. Problems are not getting solved. People think, you know what? The next generation, us, is going to solve the problem. This then looks like generation A dumps it onto B, dumps it onto C, dumps it onto D. These problems persevere through all generations of humanity, generally over standard of life. And even if there are solutions in our world, they're very ineffective and unsustainable, which is why many of our solutions are actually better. So before I mechanize, I'll take the point.
Air pollution is still killing people in the present. Why is it only exclusive to your side?
Okay, so I'm going to explain this a little more later, but on air pollution and this kind of sustainability, it looks like there's going to be so much more action for this. Because yes, it affects us right now, but it does not affect us to the same degree as it's an effect like future generation humans down the line in 100 years. Thus, when we promote our side of the house, we actually create more incentive for change, more incentive for sustainable actions, because again, people care more about the future, which has more detrimental effects. I'm going to characterize this a little more later, in that contemporary generations are very self-indulgent. They focus on fossil fuels. We know this because of status quo. Mechanization, then. What is the problem dumping cycle? And it looks like collective action problem in the current world. People don't care about these problems and are unwilling to help. 2 main reasons here. They think that other people will just do it anyway and that they don't need to contribute. If they want to help, they don't think that their action will have significant impacts or effects. And these are two clear reasons why things such as climate change or societal problems such as poverty and education are not being resolved at a quick enough rate. I'm not sure how OP tries to resolve this. This leads to a problem dumping cycle for our future generations, where we dump all of our burden right now onto the future generations, hoping, oh, they'll fix it for us, we don't need to do anything. This is unrealistic. Second thing here is that neglecting the future. Why? Two layers. Current generations now have a limited lifespan. They see that we are gonna die before the Earth explodes. They want to enjoy their best life on Earth and maximize the standard of living through wasting fossil fuels, being unsustainable, and just trying to live the best life. This is what they're promoting because the motion states that they prefer a world where they prioritize current generations. Guess what current generations want? Self-indulgence. The future slowly gets worse and worse because they have more issues, thus they have worse standard of life. Simply, second thing on this, why they neglect the future, just follow motion. I already said this. They prioritize current generations, people act on this, same effects, worse standard of life. Second thing here is affecting the effects of neglecting the future. 1, environmentally. 2, diplomacy and social norms. And 3, stability. First on environmental. Lifespan maximization leads to people wanting to do the best for themselves. 2 things on this. They want ease of use and efficacy, all while being lazy. Fossil fuels, guess what? Match that criteria perfectly because green practices right now are undeveloped. Fossil fuels, though limited and will not be sustainable, offer enough of to fulfill this criteria that all people around the world currently uses. Why is this unique to us? Because we actually incentivize development of green. Now, guess what effects of this? It looks like global warming, worse air pollution, and water pollution. So the solution here we have is that we make people concerned to improve future life. The future has so much more problems of climate change than what we have right now, and that's what's going to incentivize that. Now, how are we going to improve this? Obviously, we just promote future, they will develop green, improvement in environmental change. Diplomacy and social norms then, but people don't care about the future stability or peace. They want to live the best life right now. People fight over resources, lands, disagreement, blah, blah, blah. And so the solution here, we promote peace because basic human nature is altruism. They look for peace. When we further incentivize this, current generations are looking for peace, thus improve stability for the future. On stability then, people don't care about stability because stability rarely changes in an instant, it takes time. When we care about the future, it now suddenly changes. The impacts of this are benefiting future generations. We obviously improve standard of life, peace, environment, and stability. Obviously, standard of life is very important. Now, benefiting current generations, will this affect protected time? This affects the effects of peace, stability, and environment are actually very helpful to status quo as well, because peace can take place pretty quickly. And advocating for stability allows for immediate reforms and development of green energy, and climate change impacts are also mitigated. For example, currently, glacier melting, sea water, air pollution, and a problem that's very relevant to my team as we're in Asia is a South Asian humidity crisis where relative humidity hits 100%. Now, why is this unique to us? Because when Opworld advocates for the self-intelligent and contemporary generations, they do not actually care about the future because they're going to die anyway. The modern citizen does not think about climate change affecting them in their life, even though it significantly does. We solve this problem by enlightening people. Now, we also benefit humanity as a whole for the same reasons. Now, characterization, I'm going to flag this real quickly, is how does this current generation impact us significantly? Well, it's because the generation contributes to us significantly in this world. Why is this the case? We're currently advancing at an extreme rapid rate in terms of technology in the last 20 years. We've already developed technologies like iPhones, robot, AI, and this is super important. This means we're contributing a lot of gases. We cannot pluck chemicals out of the air one by one. It's unfair to this future generations that we dump this burden on them, and we right now definitely have the capability to take this burden off of them. So for all these reasons, and my DPM is going to extend on this. So for all these reasons, so proud to propose. Thank you.
Alright, thank you so much